All right. Hey, what's up, guys? I am live. Oh, this is really bright. So let me grab this because I'm getting a little washed out. Okay, there you go. Less washed out. Yeah, there you go. Oh, our room looks nice. It looks so I don't know, kind of like yeah, vibey. I think it looks vibey. So, how are you guys doing this evening? Leave me a question. You know how this usually goes. I just talk about random things that are going through my mind for a few minutes until you guys start asking me questions. And then I answer your questions until I can't really speak anymore or I feel like one of us is getting bored. So, yeah, got a few people showing up now. All right, so cool. I'll start ranting. What am I thinking about here lately? Hmm. I think the two things that have been on my mind a lot lately are age and kids. Mostly Oh, I don't need this thing in, do I? Let me know if you can hear me and everything okay. Yeah, so you probably know that I have two daughters, two incredible daughters. Boy, they're like the best thing that has ever happened to me in my life. And I've had so many good things happen to me. I often think that if I wasn't me, I would be jealous of me because of how many awesome things happened to me. But the best thing that's ever happened to me is my two daughters. Their names are Cruz and Lucia, though we might actually be changing the younger girl's name to Sia. Um, yeah, we might be changing her name. So it's either Cruz and Lucia or Sia. And oh, by the way, I released a song for Cruz, my daughter, that I wrote for her. It's an original song. It's on my main music page where I upload my original music and do music stuff. And I'd love for you to check it out. It's called Dream Girl. Dream Girl. So if you look up David DeMuzio Dream Girl music video or just David DeMuzio Dream Girl, the video comes up and it's actually comprised, the music video is comprised of little clips of me and Cruz since literally she was in the birthing room. So there's like literally the first, video of us ever together. I'm holding her away after she came out of her mama, and all the way up till now, and her actually singing at the end of the video. There's a video of her singing, and it's really cute. So I'd love for you to check that out because, yeah, it's really pretty. I've actually had at least like 20 or 30 people write me in the last couple of days since I posted the video and say that they cried while watching the video. So that was pretty crazy. I did not expect people to like cry. Like that's a pretty intense emotion from watching a music video. So yeah. Um cool. No questions yet. I haven't done any of these in a little while. So maybe we're not getting the same number of people as we were getting previously. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So yeah, what I've been thinking about. Kids. So kids are really interesting because they are the most impact that most people have on the world. There are exceptions of people who impact the world more themselves by what they do personally in their lives than through their children, but I would say that's very rare. Most people, the most significant sort of impact that they have on the world is actually their children, which is, like, pretty crazy. So, like, I would say someone like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Prince or Michael Jackson. They are changing the world in a way or, Benjamin Franklin or George Washington, they changed the way personally that the world operates more so than probably the impact that them having children had, you know? But for instance, my parents, my dad, I would say, for sure, the biggest impact he had in the world during his life was the children that he made. My dad's already passed away a few years ago, about 6 years ago. And I wouldn't say that my dad had a big impact on the world, he never did anything like well, yeah, he did one thing. One thing was kinda cool was that I'll answer your question here to Austin in just a second now. Glad, thanks for asking a question. Um, yeah, my dad did some kind of cool things with his life, but nothing was impactful as him making babies. He made 3 boys and 1 girl, one of those being me. And for sure, his children and his collective children have had a bigger impact on the world positively than he had himself positively. So I would say that my dad's biggest impact on the world was literally his children. I would say definitely for my mom, that's the case too. And most people, that's the case, is that their children are the biggest impact that they have on the world. So anyway, that's something I've been thinking about lately, and something I hadn't really considered until I had kids. Hey, what's up, Graham? Good to see you, man. G'day, mate. How you going? I can do a pretty good Australian accent. Spent a lot of time down there in Oz. That wasn't so great. I know. I had so much fun the other day at this movie, Graham. It was great. How's that? How's my Australian accent? Is it so good? So good. Just because 'cause I've got the O's down, I can do "so." I know. That's how Australians do their O's. They say, "I know." It's so much fun. It was okay. Okay. He doesn't think it's great. Oh, well. Austin says, "Pretty spot on." Thank you, Austin. Graham's more accurate probably because he's actually Australian, but, um, it's actually kinda decent. Thanks, Lewis. I know. It's a pretty good accent, Australian accent. Should I do the rest of my live stream in Australian, and I'll pretend that I'm Australian? Sounded more English? Really? I can do an English accent too, but I don't think my English accent is as good. So, Austin, let me answer your question, mate. Hi, David. I'm in a tough spot. I got a hair transplant, and all of a sudden, my body started getting sides from finasteride. Oh, that's pretty good. I can do finasteride. That's how an Australian would say finasteride. I tried topical dutasteride, but got sides too. What would you do? Mate, it's pretty tough. Another Australian here. It was okay. Man, the Australians aren't liking my Australian accent. I guess they're the ones that like legitimately can say if it's good or not. So I'm not going to argue with you, Australia. What about my American accent? I'm pretty sure that's just okay as well, right? Pretty sure. So, Austin, I'm gonna say, man, this is really tough. There's all of a sudden my body's starting. That's really strange that your body started suddenly getting side effects from finasteride. Can you explain a little bit more? What were the side effects, Austin, from finasteride? And I mean, you're not going to be in a good place if you don't get on some kind of thing like a finasteride. So I would say the next thing, have you tried finasteride? Topical finasteride? That's weird that you got side effects from topical dutasteride because where did you get it from? I know that the surgeon that I used for my body hair transplant, Dr. Patrick Mwamba, I know that he sells some kind of topical dutasteride mesotherapy thing. I'm not like financially affiliated with them or anything like that. I don't even know that 100% for sure, but I'm pretty sure because one of my friends told me that he did. He sells this topical dutasteride stuff on his website. So I would suggest checking that out. Thanks, very relaxing. Yeah, I would suggest checking that out. Because this topical dutasteride that Dr. Patrick Mamba sells, I think you just use it like once a week or something like that. It's not very much. So started getting ED libido problems. It's kind of scary. Okay. I don't want to, Austin, I don't want to like question you. You know what I mean? Um, I don't want to like question you, but um, but I kind of do need to. I feel like at the same time, I mean, you said ED, libido problems. There's something, and again, I'm not a medical doctor. Hey, I'm just saying that I've tried this or whatever. If you go to battlebornpeptides.com, battleborn peptides, there's this stuff. I think it's battlebornpeptides.com. Just Google battleborn peptides and look up this stuff called PT141. And it is FDA cleared for use in women, not in men. But it is like it speeds up your libido and definitely like does the opposite of erectile dysfunction. It's like boom, it's like crazy. So I've tried that stuff because a friend of mine, I wasn't having any ED or libido problems, but a friend of mine was just like, "Hey, you got to try this stuff. It's like really amazing." And I tried it, and yeah, it's like yeah, it's like I was 11 years old again. Not 11, maybe that's too young. Okay, 13 years old again. Um, So, yeah, I'm like 11 years old, like, I don't know why did I say that number? Um, like, I don't even remember, was I even yeah, who knows what I was thinking, 13, by 13, yeah, things were happening. So, I would say, yeah, Graham says lower your dose, I would maybe try that as well. A lot of the ED stuff is definitely in people's heads, a lot. So I don't know. And the topical dutasteride, it's very rare for that to cause ED. Because what I've heard about topical dutasteride is that very little of it actually gets into your system if it's like done correctly. So yeah, I would say just like I think you need to get on something like that. Um, and John says it's also worthwhile to try a smaller dose of finasteride if you haven't. They say you only need it 3 or 4 times a week or every second day, roughly. Yes, I've definitely heard that as well. So maybe try it every other day. Um, Graham says go back to 3 milligrams a week. So yeah, same thing. Maybe every other day. Or yeah, or try something like that. Like try the opposite, like something like that PT141, some Viagra or something like that, and just see if like that works. I don't know. Yeah, Sarah Walter says, agreed. It's all in the head. Never look up side effects. It makes things 100 times worse. Yeah, so I agree with him. I think that that's true. If you look up the side effects, there's a much higher chance that you're going to get side effects, and I think that's pretty clinically like proven that things like that. That like that's why they have this. What do they call that? The what's the effect where you do get the effect of something? You know what I'm talking about, guys? Where you get the positive or effect of something, where you take a pill, but it's actually just like a sugar pill. What's that called? Can't believe this is escaping my mind. Nocebo. There you go. Placebo or nocebo. Thank you very much. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, I mean that's a real thing. Placebo is like a real thing that there people are like amazed by the effects of placebo. Things like people's joints healing and crazy stuff happens from placebo and nocebo effects. So I would just like work on some of those things. Maybe try the PT141. That stuff's awesome, by the way. Just throwing out this out there, guys. Again, not a doctor. I don't even know if it's like legal or whatever, but you can get this battleboardpeptides.com. Now, PT141 is a little bit complicated because you have to like inject yourself and do this whole. You have to like get this kind of like water, special water. Again, like, look up how to do this beforehand. I did. I had a friend who showed me, but it's like you have to inject yourself with a needle and all that kind of stuff. So you do it does take a little bit of work. I like injecting myself with needles actually. I don't know if that's something I'm allowed to say publicly. Not like just for fun, but I don't know, like something about doing something that I I like doing things that seem like I don't want to do them. So like jumping in a cold shower when it's, like, crazy freezing cold. I like doing that because something about that sort of excites me. I know that there's some kind of dopamine release when you do things that you don't wanna do. So something about injecting myself with a needle, I kind of like doing it in a weird way. By the way, I'm not just, like, randomly injecting myself all the time with needles. That's not the case, but, yeah, I don't mind. But what I'm saying is I don't mind it at all. So, yeah, I don't mind it. Austin says, "Hop on HRT, TRT." Haha. Yeah, I've never gotten on anything like that, HRT or TRT. I know people, like, think that people have claimed that I'm on those things. I've never tried any of that stuff. I'm not for it or against it. I really don't know that much about it. A former heroin addict once told me the people get addicted to the needle itself. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could totally see that. There is some kind of like release, like dopamine release when you do something that you don't want to. There's like this, like your body rewards you basically for like overcoming that thing. So that could totally be a reason that people get addicted to the needle itself. I'm not addicted to the needles, thank goodness, but I don't mind it. It's sort of like, yeah, gives me some kind of cool like dopamine release or something like that. Oh, David, do you know any good surgeons near Sweden? Haven't found any good here. No, I don't know of any around Sweden area. Sorry. Ugh. Getting a little tired. Wow, it's like midnight here. Any other questions, guys? This is fun chatting with you. I'm really enjoying this. If I don't get any more questions soon, I'm gonna start back to my Australian accent. Austin says, when your natural test levels drop as you age, docs prescribe it to keep you young. Oh, Jeff Bezos is on it. Okay, cool. Talk about your dating experience. Okay, sure. What do you want to know about my dating experience, Lewis? How's the music? Oh, so I just released at the beginning of this video, I said, I just released a new song, original song. It's called Dream Girl, and it's a song I wrote for my daughter. And the music video is up on my music channel. So I would love for you guys to check that out. Let me like find the exact link. Let me get it for you. Yeah, and it's been getting a really good reaction, like way better reaction than I expected. Um, so let me give this to you. I think I can just like paste the link here. So, and it's super cute. My daughter sings at the end of the video. She's sang the song. It's a song that I wrote for her, and I sing her to sleep with and stuff. And yeah, there's that. I think you can click on that. Yeah, you can. Okay, that's the video. I just posted it. I hope you'll watch that and give it a thumbs up if you like it. So yeah, music stuff's been going great. I'm writing the new single for a friend of mine named Sam Mangobat, and he's a huge star in the Philippines, really big pop star. So I just produced and wrote his latest single that's going to be out here in the next like month or two. So, and I'm writing Mikey Bustos, a very popular YouTuber. I'm writing and producing a couple new songs for him. So yeah, those are a couple of the music things going on. But I'm really proud of this video with my daughter Cruz Dream Girl. So check that out. Um, yeah, Lewis, let me know what you want to know, like dating experience wise. I don't really know what to say without you asking a little bit more questions. Hey, David, what's the max procedure that the average person can get? I'm guessing maybe two FUTs and one FUE. I got a procedure with Dr. McGrath, love the results, but of course left me wanting more. Yeah, I definitely know the feeling. I think every hair transplant leaves us wanting more. So, no, yeah, it really depends on the person, but pretty much everyone can get 2 FUT procedures and 1 FU and an additional FUE after that. Most everyone can get that. Any decent hair transplant patient can get that, which you obviously are since Dr. McGrath did a procedure on you. And then I would say that most people can get 2 FUTs and then 2 additional FUE procedures afterward. So, like 4 procedures. I would say that like most decent hair transplant candidates can get like 4 procedures. So, yeah, and it basically just comes down to how thick, you want your hair. And I mean, we all want it as thick as possible, right? But or how like where you're sort of satisfied at. So, yeah, it's tough. Um, yeah, in some way, I think we're sort of never satisfied, but in some way, we sort of just have to just go, yeah, like, does this meet my needs? David, would you recommend getting into contact with Steve to find a surgeon then? Yes, I totally would. Yeah, Steve's great at that. I don't know if he's going to know anyone. He knows a lot more people around the US. So I don't know if he's going to know someone in Sweden, but I think it's worth talking to him about and seeing if he does. But yeah, for sure, most of the surgeons that Steve knows and has worked with closely and stuff are around the US. but a couple, overseas as well. I know there's one in the Philippines that I've never worked with, but Pineda, his name is. I think it's Andrew Pineda. I know that guy because he did one of my friend's hair transplants in, Manila. Let me look him up right now because 'cause I've got his WhatsApp. Um, but yeah, I think right now, it's like, the Philippines is, um yeah, Andrew Pineda. But the Philippines right now is really tough to get into. Like, you have to quarantine for, I don't know, like 14 days or something like that. It's crazy. How's your diet? Do you think diet affects hair? I think everything affects hair potentially, but I don't think that it plays a big role. If it did, then you'd see, like, there's plenty of super overweight people that eat really bad food that have incredible heads of hair, you know? And then you have guys, as you'll see, like Tim Ferriss or somebody like that, who eats incredibly healthy and works out and does all the right things, and he's bald. So I don't think that it makes a big effect. S. Miller says, have you heard anything about Breezula? I've just watched the videos on YouTube about it, but yeah, I don't have any kind of update for you about it. I I like watching, like, new things that are coming out. I like watching videos on them, but I guess I don't really do that much, like, work, like, looking into them until they're really actually available, you know? So, yeah, I don't think Breezula is currently available in the US. Lewis says, "How do you get dates, like apps or real life? And do you think you are being famous and social media helps you get dates? Also, what kind of advice would you give to younger guys?" Okay, thanks for the question, Lewis. Okay, so here's what I'll go about this. Um, I do not think being famous in social media helps you get dates. Does not help me get dates at all. You know, I very, very rarely have had any luck with girls because I was, like, famous, or like, if anything, it's actually just the opposite. I always try and keep, like, the fact that I've got, some popular YouTube channels and things like that. Oh, thanks, Graham. He said, "You are my favorite dream, David." He just watched my music video with my daughter. I try and keep the fact that I do have anything going on social media, um, really quiet with girls. I find that if they find that out before I actually hang out with them, it usually messes up my chances of actually going on a date with them. There's this thing, I mean, girls, there's multiple reasons for that, I think. One, I know there's that sort of like rock star thing of like, oh, I just want to bang you because you're a rock star or whatever. There's that thing, but that's not as, I think, when you get to sort of John Mayer's level, I'm sure that there are people that just go, I just want to bang you because you're John Mayer or whatever. And I'm sure I've had that like a couple of times, but yeah, there's weird things. Okay, so one, if the person is like a huge, huge fan, I'm sure John Mayer knows this too. I bet John Mayer doesn't sleep with many of his fans because when someone's a huge fan of you, then they already have all kinds of ideas in their mind about who you are. And so when you're not really that person, because you never really are that person that they've decided you are in their own minds, then it's weird. And you feel like you should try and be that person that you can tell that they think that you are. And it's like it just messes everything up. So that doesn't work very well. Like sleeping with fans, it doesn't really work very well. And I've slept with very few fans of mine. Very, very few. I mean, maybe one or two over the years. So yeah, it just never works. Then the second thing is that if you're very popular on social media, I think a lot of girls, they're kind of turned off by that because they think like, "Oh, you just get girls all the time, or you just do this all the time," or they have this idea in their minds of like, you're obviously just this like player, like everyone wants you, so like I'm never gonna do it, so I'm not even gonna give it a shot. I don't wanna, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I find I have the best luck, just they don't know who I am, they don't know anything about me, and I can just be myself, and then I have tons of luck with girls. I am, like, never have a problem with girls. Dating apps, just meeting people out, like, whatever, all of them work great. So, yeah, but I find that the more introduction there is of like, this is who I am, it kills it so bad. um, so yeah. Does finasteride regrow hair where it's been lost? Yes, it can. Yeah. So typically it's going to do a better job on areas where the hair is just very miniaturized. But there can be like, I mean, you have to have some amount of hair there, but it might be just like the tiniest little follicle that you can barely even see, can potentially grow back. I mean, there are, just look around the internet, there's miraculous results from finasteride where you're like, wow, like all I did was finasteride. And it looks like you got two hair transplants, you know? So, but not everyone reacts the same way to finasteride. Some people have great reactions to it, and others it's just like, okay, but it pretty much does help everyone across the board to some degree, you know? And Sir Walter says, it's all looks and confidence, man. Yeah, I would say so. It's all looks, confidence, and being interesting when it comes to girls. Definitely in being interesting. One of the biggest, like, things that I've heard from girls, you know, and like when I've gone out with girls and stuff in the last few years or whatever, is they tell me that they just like talking to me, you know, that just so one of they're like I've just he's just more interesting than most of the guys that I talk to, just in having conversations and things like that. So I think that goes a long way. And abs too, six pack abs. You know, girls love abs. That is actually a thing, especially on like Tinder and things like that. Like, it makes a big difference. Definitely had quite a few girls that have said, you know, said, "Yeah, I wanted to go out with you because I saw you had great abs." Okay, just Minaz 29 says, "Had FUT surgery 6 months ago. Could I expect more hair to grow in than what I have right now?" Yes, most likely more than in 6 months. Typically, about 8 to 9 months, you'll have gotten most of what you're going to get. But everyone grows back differently. So there are some guys that are like at month 10 or 11 do have a big surge of new hair. So yeah, pretty much 12 months, 12 to 13 months, you should have gotten everything that you're going to get. But 6 months, you still have a bit of a ways to go. Yeah, you definitely could see some more progress. Mhm. All right, cool guys. Any more questions? Almost at 30 minutes here of me talking to myself. And yeah, well, let's let it go to 28, see if we have any more questions. And if not, then I'll get going. Okay. And 30 minutes, we'll cut it either way. All right. Do you know anyone who has tried Winlevi on their scalp for hair loss? It's a recently FDA approved anti-androgen for acne. It's the same drug as Breezula. Wow. No, do not know anyone that's tried it. Winlevi. Okay. That's super interesting. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. And actually, I'm going to be hanging out with Steve in a few days. I mean, it's like towards the end of this month. And I'm going to screenshot this and do a little bit of research and get back to you. So thank you very much for asking about it. Boy. All right. Screenshotting that. So thank you. Any other questions or things that you would like me to ask Steve when I'm with him later this month? I'm definitely going to back to Boracay in the future. I've had some great times in Boracay, Graham. Honest David, you're very good looking. I guess that helps a lot in your dating life. Thank you very much. So yeah, I definitely did not used to be good looking at all. I mean, you guys have seen pictures of me like 10 years ago. In my early 20s, I was not very good looking. Like, I was not ugly, but I was like barely on the attractive scale, I think. And I really think it's really weird, but like the closer I get to 40, definitely the better looking I'm getting. It's really like, I don't know what's happening. I'm kind of just thanking God for giving me a couple years of looking pretty decent, um, pretty good. Yeah, because like I would even say the last year or two, maybe thanks to my hair or something like that, I'm looking better. The older I get, the better I look. I don't know. It's really strange. Do you have any pictures here? No, otherwise I'd post a picture of what I looked like when I was like 20 years old. It was not that great. So, and the difference with girls has been like crazy. Yeah, when I was like 20 to 25, I had no luck with girls. It was like not good. Cool. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Yep, 30 minutes here. So we're going to wrap up. It was so nice talking to you guys. Thanks for all your great questions. If you have any more, post them in the comments, or leave a comment on another video. I read all the comments and I try and make the videos that you guys want to see. So I will talk to you soon. Hope you have a great night or day wherever you are. All right. I'll see you later.